7 o'clock, having arrived, I will call to order this regular meeting of the Keene City Council. This meeting is being broadcast live on the City of Keene YouTube channel and Spectrum channel 1302. The video is also streamed on the city's website and is posted by the end of the next business day, barring any technical difficulties. If you would like to receive an electronic City Council package to reference while viewing future broadcasts, please contact the city clerk's office during business hours or go to the city's website and subscribe to the city meetings email list. The agenda is also accessible from any mobile device. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Keene Bosley,
Here.
Laura E. Tobin,
Here.
Michael J. Remy,
Here.
Randy L. Filio,
Here.
Robert C. Williams,
Here.
Edward J. Haas,
Here.
Philip M. Jones,
Present.
Andrew M. Madison,
Here.
Chris E. Roberts,
Here.
Raleigh C. Omerod,
Here.
Brian J. Lake,
Here.
Catherine I. Workman,
Here.
Bettina H. Hadborn, Thomas F. Powers,
Here.
Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Councilor Remy, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
Councilor Greenwald for a motion on the minutes.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to adopt the minutes of the January 18, 2024 meeting as presented.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Greenwald and seconded by Councilor Bosley. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Announcements. A City Council workshop on potential amendments to the Rules of Order is scheduled for February 13th at 7 p.m. here in Council Chambers. That might allow councilors to attend a Southwest Regional Planning Commission legislative update that is beginning at 5:30 that evening. The capital improvement program, that review will continue before the Finance, Operations, and Personnel Committee. They're meeting on February 8th and February 22nd. They will start at 5:30. There'll be a light dinner provided in advance. The public hearing on the CIP, the Capital Improvement Program, is scheduled for Thursday, March 7th at 7 p.m. To accommodate additional MSFI, Municipal Services Committees, that will focus on the downtown infrastructure project, there'll be some special MSFI meeting dates being added to the schedule. They are for March 13th, April 10th, and May 8th. These meetings will start at 5:30, just ahead of the Planning, Lands, and Development Committee's meeting time, which will shift to 7 o'clock starts on these dates. Want to hear those again? This is March 13th, April 10th, and May 8th. We have scheduled a legislative delegation meeting that will be held on March 22nd at 6:30 p.m. at Heberton Hall. And that concludes my announcements. Now for some special recognition. And if Cheryl Dallaire and Ryan Barkham will join me. We've begun a ceremonial recognition of people who have been recognized beyond our region for their special efforts, deeds, and good service. Tonight, because of Main Street America, a parent of the National Grange Mutual Insurance Company, which has been a part of the Keene community since its founding in 1923, As a part of their 100th year anniversary, they launched the Community Impact Award to acknowledge agencies from across the country that share their philosophy that each of us play a role in creating equitable, diverse, and thriving communities. This year, the Main Street America Community Impact Award recognized 4 agencies across the country, and one of those was Insurance Source of Keene. The insurance source understands what it means to be part of the community, and they strive to offer that support every day. Cheryl Belair is one of the original agency's founders and has made it her mission to give back to the Monadnock region, the community she credits with having helped build her business. Years ago, Cheryl began serving on local boards and helping local organizations, but she quickly realized that she could further the impact by incorporating her philanthropic philosophy into her business. From donations to events, both Cheryl and her dedicated staff, including Ryan, at the Insurance Source have made their mark on the community. In 2023, she and her team offered over 300 volunteer hours in support of 15 local human service organizations serving thousands in the community, such as the Keene Elm City Rotary and their sneaker project, which fits every second grade student in Cheshire County with a brand new pair of sneakers done every year. The Community Kitchen Food Box Delivery Program, the Monadnock United Way, Monadnock Understands Childhood Hunger Program, and participated in Bike Safety Day with the Keene Kiwanis Club. On behalf of the city, Cheryl and Ryan, I want to congratulate Insurance Source on your Community Impact Award, and thank you for your service to Keene and Cheshire County by presenting you with a pin of the key to the city. Thank you very much for your service. Cheryl?
Thank you. So I just want to take a moment to thank the mayor and the entire city council for this very special recognition. I started the Insurance Source 40 years ago and very quickly realized that building a business is not just about what I do, but it's about the community coming around me, and that I needed to thank them for that. And our way to thank them has always been to give back via community service in supporting a lot of the not-for-profit organizations in our community. And we've been able to do that as a group. It's great. We have an amazing community with an amazing amount of not-for-profit organizations. And again, we're very honored to have received this recognition. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. So as I said in the last meeting, we'll continue to take nominations of people, students, businesses, organizations in our community that have risen to gain broad recognition both within our community and beyond. So please inform me and the city clerk of those opportunities to recognize the good work of people in our community. Now I'd like to take up nominations and appointments. Councilor Greenwell for a motion.
Perhaps I should read it?
Yes, you should.
All right.
It's a long list.
This evening, we'll be considering the mayor's nominations to many boards and commissions of the city. And we start off with the Bicycle Pedestrian Path Advisory Committee. It is Diane Duffy to serve as an alternate with a term to expire December 31, 2025. Two members that are currently alternates are going to be moving up to regular positions. They include Samantha Jackson and Autumn Delacroix. Samantha will have a term that expires December 31, 2026, and Autumn will be filling an unexpired term to expire December 31, 2025. To the Conservation Commission, Barbara Richter, term to expire December 31, 2026. To the Congregate Care and Social Services Licensing Board, Ashok Ball, December 31, 2026. And to the Planning Board, Sarah Vizani, December 31, 2026. And to serve as an alternate, Michael Huffer, December 31, 2026. And finally, to the trustees of trust funds and cemetery trustees, Eli Thayer, December 31, 2026.
This being the second time these names have been before us, we'll take a motion of approval. Counselor Greenwald for a motion.
Thank you. Very happy to recommend that we confirm these nominations.
Second.
Thank you. Counselor Greenwald moved, and Counselor Bosley has seconded the motion. All those in favor?
call.
This is a roll call. I know.
Counselor Bosley.
Yes.
And Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Remy.
Yes.
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Madison.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Ormerod.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Chadwick.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
All right. And we have an additional confirmation to the Keene Housing Authority.
And this would be for Emily Benson to serve on the Keene Housing Authority with a term to expire December 31, 2028.
Counselor Greenwald?
Thank you. And I am happy to suggest confirming the nomination.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Greenwald, seconded by Counselor Bosley. Roll call.
Counselor Bosley.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Remy.
Yes.
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Madison.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Ormerod.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
Okay, and we have nominations to the Roadway Safety Action Committee to be confirmed tonight. Counselor.
Quick question, should we accept resignations first?
Thank you, Counselor. Actually, this is a two-part. We have two members who were not able to participate in this committee due to their meeting cycle, and it is Counselor Lake and representing the council, obviously, and a Reagan Messer who represented the public. And so I believe that Counselor Greenwald will be on tap to accept those resignations. But before we give you the appointments that will replace, I did want to indicate that Asia Davis, I mistakenly thought she was going on this committee. Actually, the mayor's going to nominate her to the Human Rights Committee. We'll prepare that nomination for your next regular meeting. So to replace Counselor Lake and Ms. Messer, the mayor is nominating, or actually appointing, these are appointments, not nominations, Deborah Bowie and Counselor Tobin. So as our rules provide, these are appointments. We can confirm them the same night as the first reading.
So in this motion, we'll be accepting both the resignation and the appointments. Counselor Greenwald.
Okay, so you want one for the resignation? I'm on.
It's on your sheet, hon.
Move to accept the resignations with regret and appreciation for service, and also confirm the appointments of Deb Bowie and Counselor Tobin to the Roadway Safety Action Plan.
Thank you.
Second.
2 in 1.
Yes.
Efficient. Wow.
Second.
So moved by Counselor Greenwald, seconded by Counselor Bosley. And
Show.
a show of hands. All in favor, say aye.
Yes,
It's
you can
unanimous.
vote for yourself.
All right, communications. You're the clerk.
We have our annual request from Keene Pride. However, this year, they have met the, sort of one of the standards for having the status of a community event. And the communication this evening is to request the city council give them that status. They will be back in with their request to use city property at a later date. So again, Keene Pride, a request for community funding event status for the 2024 Pride Festival.
And we'll refer this to the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee to be considered during the fiscal '25 budget process. Further communications?
And a communication from Let It Shine. This is their annual request to use city property for the 2024 Pumpkin Festival.
And we'll refer this letter to the Planning Licenses and Development Committee to be placed on more time to allow protocol meetings to occur. Committee reports. Counselor Greenwald?
We have a Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee report relative to the enforcement of the winter parking ban. On a vote of 5-0, the Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee recommends enforcement of the winter parking ban be referred to the city manager for further review and consideration with a report back to the MSFI committee.
Counselor Greenwald for a motion.
Now, move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Greenwald, seconded by Counselor Filio. Counselor Greenwald?
Thank you. Councilor Remy came to us with this very, very good observation. We have this winter parking ban and all kinds of regulations about on-street parking. And the conclusion is it needs a whole lot more thought, which is why the motion is to refer to the city manager to analyze the whole situation. It's not just the winter parking, it's also the summer parking. Do we really need to move people off Main Street? Do we need to move them out of neighborhoods if there's nothing going on? So I think it's a really great idea, so I hope that you will agree.
Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. We have a second report on winter operations.
This is an informational report on the winter operations presented by Harry McKelvey on the Transportation and Stormwater Operations Manager.
Counselor Greenwald for a motion. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We'll take this as informational.
Yeah.
And our second informational report, this again a PowerPoint presentation, this one from Community Development, and it dealt with neighborhood parking.
And we'll accept that as information.
I'm all set.
It's like Pavlov's dog, you hear the noise, he's just go.
I don't know.
And next we have another report from MSFI.
Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee report relative to safety issues associated with the driveway at 82 Court Street. On a vote of 5-0, the Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee accepted the communication regarding safety issues regarding the 82 Court Street driveway as informational.
And this, Counselor Greenwald, no, just informational. Thank you very much. Okay.
And our final informational report, perhaps,
No.
this evening. No? Got a few more.
Yes,
All right.
there are.
So Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee report. This one dealing with the downtown project timeline, as well as Councilor Greenwald's design issues to be considered in the downtown improvement project. And the recommendation is to accept as informational.
And we'll file that as informational. Last.
Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee report relative to the Transportation Heritage Trail Phase 1 proposed action. On a vote of 5-0, the Municipal Services Facility and Infrastructure Committee recommends authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the proposed action as presented for the Transportation Heritage Trail Phase 1 project to include 1. Trail alignment along the rail corridor. 2. Screening consisting of chain link fencing with slats. 3. Implementation of Trailhead Alternative 1, including angled parking and one-way traffic circulation through the parking lot. And 4. Surface materials consisting of stone dust.
And for this, we'll need a motion.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Greenwald and seconded by Counselor Filio.
Thank you. I hope you're really impressed that the MSFI committee is really, really doing a lot of work. And we've had quite a few issues here. So just going backwards a bit, on downtown, if any of the council has any suggestions, questions, whatever, please get it to the city manager before the consultant does his work. Okay, back on the rail trail, this is the section that goes from Eastern Avenue heading up towards, well, where there's nothing, anything there yet. We heard from the consultant. We were presented with a number of options and questions. As you see, the alignment, screening, the abutters were concerned about the screening, because now what used to be a train track rail line is now their backyard. So a suggestion was made for the chain link fencing. The trailhead parking layout was discussed and also added to with additional lighting. And what the surface of this bike path area was going to be. That it's not going to be paved, we're looking at stone dust. So we heard this, and it's going to happen. This is great, and I hope that you've read the background information and agree that we made the right decisions, and if you don't, tell us. But I think we made the right decisions. Thank you.
Any discussion from the council? Seeing none, all those in favor, raise your hand. It's a unanimous vote. And moving on to an informational report.
This one on Thompson's Road reconstruction project. It is recommended that it be accepted as informational.
And that will be as read. And finally, something, well, we're moving on to finance motions.
We have a Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to an authorization to apply for grant funding for the Downtown Infrastructure Improvement Project. On a vote of 3-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to apply for applicable state and federal grant funding for the Downtown Infrastructure Improvement and Reconstruction Project.
Councilor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Powers and seconded by Councilor Remy. Councilor Powers.
The Finance Organization Personnel Committee met the other night and heard from the staff about this particular project that's necessary for us to apply for some significant grant funding. And the current title of the program is RAISE, Rebuilding America's Infrastructure and Sustainability and Equity. So this is going to go down to Washington DC as a request on our part, and it needs a good, solid program that our engineering firm is going to put together for us. But it also needs to have in that package right at the top is the authorization by the city council for the city manager to submit and sign that application. So it's pretty pro forma in terms of what needs to be done. And I think, you know, sometimes people might say, well, that's kind of funny, why you gotta do these submissions, stuff like that. But I think, my personal opinion is, it sends a message along with this, that you got a city council of 15 people and a mayor who signed off on this as a program that means an awful lot to the community. So I recommend that we approve this. Thank you.
Comments from the council? Seeing none, would all those in favor raise your hand? It's a unanimous vote. Next motion.
Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to engineering services pertaining to the airport snow removal equipment purchases. On a vote of 3-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to execute a professional engineering services contract with McFarland Johnson, Inc. for the development of bid specifications and associated grant administration for airport snow removal equipment purchase.
And Councilor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Powers, seconded by Councilor Remy. Councilor Powers.
This is one of two programs that was brought forward by the airport director, and it's the replacement of that humongous snowplow piece of equipment that's down there. It's actually a sweeper, but it's about, I don't know, 30 feet wide, and it's very effective because it brings the snow down to pavement, which is what you want to have with aircraft, and it really avoids the buildup of ice in bad weather. This is a federal program. It will replace the one that's being used now, although they'll probably keep it for spare parts because there's a whole process how the FAA does this. It'll be totally, well, not totally, but almost totally paid for by the FAA. However, the project requires an engineering study and define the equipment and all the specifications. So McFarland Johnson, our engineering firm of record, will put this all together and work with the application process so it'll go forward. We'll have, this engineering project will be $31,500 from the FAA and $1,750 from the city and the state DOT. So we have a small share that brings back a great reward. Unanimously approved by the FOP. Hope the city council will do the same.
Any discussion? Seeing none, would all those in favor raise your hand? Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. And one more from,
Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to airport engineering and architectural services. On a vote of 3-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to enter into an agreement with McFarland Johnson, Inc. for airport engineering and architectural services for the Keene Dillon Hopkins Airport.
Council Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Council Remy. Moved by Councilor Powers, seconded by Councilor Remy. Councilor Powers.
This particular project is some renovations at the facility down there. It's been around for about 45 years. Particularly the roof needs some considerable amount of work. And handicapped access needs to be moved from the current location to the one that's closer. Would be, if you're looking at the building, it'd be over to the left side. And a little bit of other work that brings the entire building up to standards for accessibility. McFarland Johnson is our engineering firm, and they will put together the whole proposal, and then we can go out to bid. And lucky enough that there's some federal money that'll come our way for that also. Recommend that you approved it. Thank you.
And any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your hand. Thank you. All opposed, none. Motion carries unanimously. And another motion.
Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to a subordination agreement at 310 Marlborough Street. On a vote of 3-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to assign a subordination agreement to a mortgage from 310 Marlborough Street LLC to Newburyport 5-cent Savings Bank.
Councilor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Powers and seconded by Councilor Remy. Councilor Powers.
This one might get a little more complicated. However, it's in the best interest of the city, so city attorney worked with us to get us to this point where we're recommending that the council approve it. But the current owner of this project, which you're all well aware of on Marlborough Street, is moving along, and is going to have some more construction, so he's doing some refinancing. And because it's a 79E improvement project, the new financing bank required certain assurances that may have effect on the city's position because it's a 79E project. And those particular points of concern were reviewed by the city attorney and came to the point that this agreement meets all the standards that he's satisfied with. And my position is, if he's satisfied, I am too, and we voted unanimously to approve. And I would turn to the city attorney if there's many more questions, but I think we covered it well. Thank you.
Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, raise your hand. And motion carries unanimously. And one more from FOP.
Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to the expenditure of trust funds for acquisition of lights at the cemetery maintenance building. On a vote of 3-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary for the expenditure of Cemetery Trust Fund B capital reserve of $7,890 for the purpose of replacing light fixtures in the maintenance building at Monadnock View Cemetery.
Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Powers and seconded by Counselor Remy, and Counselor Powers, recognize you.
Thank you, Your Honor. What this does is authorize withdrawal of some funds from the Cemetery Trust Fund. And that fund currently has a balance of $1.3 million that is out there working for us because it has investments. And of course, it's managed by the trustees of the trust fund, who do a very good job. So the request was made by the Parks and Recreation Director for $7,890 to replace all of the lighting in the building. The building was built in the early 80s. Probably got sodium high-pressure lights in it that are totally ineffective and very expensive, so it'll be some format of LED lighting in the building and around the entrances, et cetera. Really necessary to be much more effective out there. It's a good investment. Finance Committee recommended unanimously. Hope you do the same.
And any comments or questions from counselors? Seeing none, all those in favor, raise your hand. And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Counselor Powers. And to the city manager.
Thank you. Just a few updates for you this evening. In partnership with the Healthy Monadnock and Cheshire Med, we are installing nalox boxes, both here at City Hall and in the library. These are opioid rescue kits that will be installed on the wall near our AED units. They contain Narcan, which is a trade name for naloxone, a medication that counteracts the effects of opiates, reversing the effect of an overdose. Narcan is available as an over-the-counter medication. The fire department has also offered training for staff in regards to use of the Narcan. So this is something free that's being brought to us. I think it's a great thing to have available, and we have a wonderful fire department willing to train us on the use of it. Next, I would like to provide an update regarding the continued work to clean up the trash and abandoned encampments on both private and public property. Most recently, the team at the city worked with a private contractor to clean up the parcel owned by the city near Hannaford's, but more directly behind Melanson. So there's a small parcel. This parcel abuts the river, and during low flow, it actually includes a little small island that had some trash on it as well. We removed 15.8 tons of trash and installed fencing to discourage future use of this site. Thanks to Andy Bohannon for taking the lead on this project. The next location we are hoping to have cleaned up is the large parcel privately owned behind Hannaford's. And so we're going to keep working on that, and we'll give you an update when we have more to share. The next update I want to share is in regards to overflow shelter capacity. We have been working with SES and the UCC Church to open an overflow shelter for the coldest nights of the year. We met yesterday and finalized the arrangement. And so as of Monday, the 5th, this next Monday, approximately 10 to 12 beds will be available. On nights, the temperatures are forecasted to be 10 degrees or below. This space will be staffed by a staff person from SES and a volunteer, as well as a volunteer from the church. SES has put together a volunteer training program for their volunteers and the church volunteers. And I just want to thank Beth Daniels, the Chief Executive Officer at SES, and Reverend Cindy Bagley from the UCC Church and their volunteers for stepping up to help meet this need in our community, and working with them has been a real partnership. I'm going to skip the downtown dates because the mayor already covered those. And then I just have a few employee recognitions. We did have a few new hires that you might be interested in. We saw the resolution for Vicki Flanders and her retirement, and we have hired Michelle Gould as our Human Resources Assistant and Benefits Administrator, and that was as of January 8th. And then we've hired 2 new police officers. I'm very excited about that because we're trying to recruit. And so Matthew Martin and Benjamin Wood, I swore them in a week ago, which is great, which we're down to 5 vacancies. So I think we're doing something right with all of the things. All right, knock on wood, Councilor Powers says, shh. Yeah. But I will say, even though we're doing something right in the recruitment field, we still have a lot of people out right now with FMLA and a whole host of other things. But I feel like positive that we're moving in the right direction. And then some service milestones. And I'm going to start with Miss Little. Yeah, she, on February 12th, will have reached 45 years with the city. Amazing. So Mark Hartness from Public Works is reaching 25 years this month on February 15th. Jared Houston from Fire is reaching 20 years on February 16th, and our very own Andy Bohannon in the back of the room is reaching 20 years on February 23rd. And then we have Mary Bruner reaching 10 years. She just reached it in January. And then Heather in City Clerk's office reached 10 years in January as well. So congratulations to all of them. That's it for me.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations on 45 years.
Thank you.
Wow. All right. We are indeed blessed. All right, we have a report from our Energy and Climate Committee.
Yes, this is a report that's coming to us from Energy and Climate, but it's actually a request from the Monadnock Sustainability Hub. And they are recommending that the City Council consider sponsorship in terms of waiving any permit fees and access to city facilities for the 2024 Energy Expo event that'll be scheduled in the fall of this year.
Okay, and we will refer this to the Finance, Operations, and Personnel Committee. All right. Counselor Powers, to the clerk, though, we have a resolution before us from Finance, Operations, and Personnel.
That's correct. We do have a Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report relative to Resolution R 2024-04. They are recommending the adoption of the resolution, and it does read, Resolution R 2024-04, resolution relating to the acceptance and appropriation of unanticipated bridge revenue.
All right, Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would move to adopt Resolution 2024-04.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Powers and seconded by Counselor Remy. Counselor Powers to speak to the motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. City engineer joined us last week to report that we are the recipients, once we sign the right paperwork, of $194,942 from the state of New Hampshire. And this is unanticipated income that the state receives through various programs. And part of what they do, and I think they're mandated to do, is to disperse that back to communities for their use. And in our case, it's going to go into our bridge capital reserve account, so that we'll have the money there for repairs and replacements of bridges. Finance Committee recommended unanimously that this be accepted. Ask the council to do the same.
Any comments or questions from the council? Seeing none, would all those in favor raise your hands? Any opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. At this point, we will move into a non-public session. Counselor Greenwell for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to go into the non-public session to discuss the compensation of a public employee under RSA 91A3 2A. hiring of a public employee under RSA 91A3 to B, and the consideration of a pending claim or litigation under RSA 91A3 to E.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Greenwald, seconded by Counselor Bosley, that we move into executive session. We'll take the roll.
Counselor Bosley.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Remy.
Yes.
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Madison.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Omerod.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne. Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yep.
Motion carries unanimously. We are now in non-public session.